So when they started doing it, our work completely stopped. There were some effects in our house in such a way that my uncle in the foundation would say things like, you must strictly observe your prayers and ablutions, and at night when you go to sleep, you must sleep after reciting protective prayers.
Aunt used to bring amulets.
Aunt used to have amulets made.
Aunt, what was this all about?
You know our uncle who used to work in transport, right?
The last one, still living there.
Yes, the one living there.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
So his mother-in-law, let me tell you, in our whole house, every single person does this.
He just keeps doing this over and over.
So now you see,
Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
everyone in our house does the same thing. They all used to live together, and that's why my mother was upset. Today, thank God, we live completely separately. It's been 7 or 8 years now.
So tell me about Aunt. She used to bring amulets. What was that all about?
Aunt used to have all those things made by her mother.
Mom knew magic.
Her mother was truly incredibly remarkable and quite something else. She was on a completely different level altogether. She would approach us in such a specific and deliberate manner that it was happening directly and clearly right there in front of our very eyes. Now, let me tell you, once my mother told my father, "Look, she's doing these things, you should talk to Salman." When my father came, he got really upset. He said, "I already have enough worries, and now you people are making me even more anxious." So when they started doing all this, all our work came to a halt. Whatever construction work my father had going on, it all stopped. But she didn't stop doing her work. She kept at it. You know how they say, with absolute consistency, she kept going, always caught up in her own business. She would just keep at it, determined not to let us get ahead. She would bring things, she would hide things. Once, when there was a fire in our house, my father had a proper gate installed so that no one could enter our portion. So, what would she do? Right by that gate, right by the gate, inside the railing on the side, there would be amulets buried. Every morning, it was a daily routine. Every morning when my mother woke up, our gardener would come downstairs to water the plants and my mother would hand him the hose. But before giving him the hose, my mother would always take out the amulets. Every day she would remove the amulets from our gate, every single day.
So, didn't the family members ever sit down together and seriously discuss the reasons why these mysterious amulets just kept turning up inside the house like that?
It was like this, the nails that uncle had put in the foundation.
How did you find out about those nails in the foundation?
We found out because our grandfather himself told us. Then he said, now the house is already built because when there was a fight among our relatives, there was talk of selling the house.
Right.
So then my uncle looked at me and said, that is precisely the reason why I did this, so that you and your siblings could finally. So some of these things would come into the house because of us as well. And then in addition, they would keep all sorts of amulets and such things in the house. So those things kept accumulating in the house and their number just kept increasing because this never really stopped. If one person stopped doing it, another would start. And then if the second stopped, a third would begin. So this cycle just kept going on and on. And all of it happened to us. I had an uncle who passed away very early on because he was born without kidneys. He used to have dialysis regularly, his kidneys were bad. So, in this way, these things in our house were finally ended by my maternal uncle. At one point, my uncle came and told my mother a few things. He advised her to be very regular in her prayers and ablutions, and that at night, before sleeping, she should recite protective prayers. So, my uncle told her a few things um, that you absolutely must recite every night before going to sleep. So, my mother used to do this. When it was night before going to bed, it was her routine to recite the protective prayers throughout the house. And my father had a habit early in the morning. He would get up and walk around the entire house reciting the Holy Quran. He would go around the whole house. He would sit and recite so that he could read the Quran in every corner of the house. Then, after that, I kept a cat in my house, and if you see, that cat also came from somewhere. Taimi gave it to me as a gift not too long ago.
Taimi gave me the cat.
I was given the cat when I was in ninth grade.
Right.
So I eventually brought that little stray cat back home with me. And then when the cat finally came inside to our house for the first time, they used to start haunting the house. Cats can see these things. So when the cat was at home, something or the other would happen, but nothing ever affected us because we used to secure the whole house with protection. All these issues stopped completely for us. But with our uncle's children, these things kept happening. They were always suffering losses, always facing harm because they had so much. There was always some problem in their work because they were in the transport business.
What is the current situation now?
The current situation is that we no longer live in that house. Even today, that house is filled with paranormal activities. Meaning, even now, if we try to live there, a lot of strange things would happen.
Uncle's living there now, right?
My uncle is residing in that very place because absolutely nothing has disturbed his peace there since that time. When a person is doing these things themselves, they are usually careful about cleanliness and prayer and fasting. But when someone doesn't do any of that, then what can really affect them?